Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of F2Talk, where today we'll be talking about Destiny that just released recently. It's been less than a week now. We'll just give you our thoughts on the game, and you're here with King DX and
Show 60.
And as always, we'll be ready to go ahead and give you guys the inside scoop on what's going on. And you can expect to see some extreme tactics videos. I'm coming on the site very soon, so you can always check us out at F2.com. So starting off, Show, what are your impressions on the game so far?
I think Destiny is good. I don't think it's as great as people anticipated it to be, but there's also a chance for it to maybe hit that level when we see more content. I think the biggest issue with the game is that it's just not enough there.
So do you think it's an issue of Bungie hyping the game up to be something it's not, or Sony hyping it up to be something it's not?
Respectively, I definitely can't put that blame on Bungie. I think it's mainly the video game industry. Because, really, this is probably the biggest title to come out this year. So there's going to be hype there.
Yeah.
So, with the expectations being this and that. But, I just think it's content. It can get there, but I think the way some of the content is structured on the actual game, where there are obviously being things that we can't do now, even though we're ready or have the levels to do now, I think it's a big problem.
I don't think Destiny is an overhyped game. I think the features of the game are overhyped. Like this whole MMO aspect of Destiny where, it's this big world. And not to necessarily say that anyone from Bungie has come out and said, oh, it's an MMO. But, it's pretty obvious that's kind of what they're aiming at. If it isn't, then, I'm sorry, Bungie, please correct me. But the way that it's been marketed to me personally seems like they're going for this huge MMO experience. And with the obvious lack of communication that was demonstrated during the beta, like a lot of people went to the forums and complained about how there was a supreme lack of communication. I'm really feeling like the features just aren't there. Just getting into fire teams, jumping out of fire teams, getting into missions, jumping out of missions, not being able to trade loot. And even though they claim, the reason you can't trade loot is because they want you to have some badass story behind every piece of, weaponry and armor that you get, I just don't see it. I just don't feel like the features alone, standalone, aren't as great as I feel like they've sold them as. But I feel like together, they still make a really good and compelling game.
Well, good. I never said Destiny wasn't good.
Yeah,
I said it wasn't great. Like, prime example, take the Crucible.
Okay.
Right. Just in my opinion, for someone who's been playing shooters, I've played every game Bungie has made.
Did you play Oni? Because that was a really shitty game.
Yeah, and it did suck.
Okay, cool.
But every Halo. So I'm not gonna say I'm a connoisseur. I'm not gonna say I'm a perfectionist. But considering that they've made some of the best games, some of the best shooters from last generation, come on. In Crucible, you literally only have 2 modes to select. We shouldn't have to wait days to play. What's the other game type?
The one that's coming out Tuesday?
Yeah.
That would be Raid. That's the
No. What is it? It's Iron Banner.
Okay, Iron Banner comes out in October.
It should be there now. And I can understand the development side, like, hey, maybe it's just not ready. I get that. But just kind of, and then like the actual UI, how everything is set up, it's kind of clunky. Everything should be there right in your face. I should have more than 3 game types to play from on multiplayer.
Yeah. I agree, and just the way they're kind of like moving certain types out and then bringing certain types in, just kind of randomly. I think the reason they're doing that is kind of give the game world some type of organic feel where you never really know what to expect when you boot the game up. I think that's what they're going for.
Until you max your character out, and you only have the only thing you can expect is the unknown stuff that they're adding on.
Yeah, exactly. And I've already reached a pretty high cap, and you've gotten to level 20 as well. So let's talk about our experience of building up our characters to where they're at right now. So I've been able to primarily play with a bunch of friends, and I know you've been able to play as well. What, like during the campaign where you're playing and you're ranking up, what were like some of the high points for you and some of the low points as well?
I don't really have any low points. I can't really recall any high points either, because like for me, this isn't a new experience.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it is a new experience, and I'm not knocking it at all. But this isn't something new. It's just like someone paying the next Call of Duty when it comes out. If you played all of them, you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's so on and so forth."
Yeah.
I've got nothing. I don't like the way everything is explained, or rather, I don't like the lack of explanation you have on how to do stuff. if you don't know someone who already knows or you haven't watched the video, you're not gonna understand how to progress past level 20. And I really don't. That's my low point.
Yeah. And I think with me the low point, just kind of going back, is definitely communication for me. Like multiplayer, like I actually like the multiplayer, and I do actually really well during the multiplayer. So it's not an issue of I suck and I'm just trying to bitch about the multiplayer. I just would like to be able to talk to, my teammates on missions like Control and things like that. And if your argument is, well, you should have a 6-man fire team or whatever the case may be, well, suck a fucking dick, all right? Because it's not gonna happen all the goddamn time, and I don't want to play with 6 fucking people just because I fucking know them, because they might fucking suck. So, that's my biggest low point as far as the game is concerned. My biggest high point would definitely be, being able to get some of that exotic loot. That's really cool.
Don't you want to go into detail about what exotic loot you have though?
Yeah. So right now I have the Hunter's Mask, with the little 3 eyes, kind of like the Splinter Cell Tom Clancy thing. I got it from the Agent of 9, who's an NPC who randomly appears in the tower from time to time. I think I spent 13 strange coins to acquire it. And then I also have the Surus Regime, which is essentially an auto rifle. It's exotic. I got it from a legendary Ingram while I was fighting the Nexus. I actually shot a goblin, picked a legendary Ingram up, and when I traded it in, I was able to get an exotic item, which was really cool. Now I'm not sure if that's dependent on level. Like it's really hard to see, like, because one thing I've noticed about kind of the item giveaways is, like, if you play Crucible, sometimes you'll come out of Crucible and you can do the best on your team and you won't get shit. And the person who did like the worst will get like a goddamn legendary ship, and you're just sitting there like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah, but every time I do the worst, I get nothing. Like, if I suck, exactly. I don't get anything.
Now, what I noticed, so I was playing with a group of friends, and while we were playing, I kept coming in second for some reason. And every time I came in second, I was getting something, like every single time. And my friend who kept coming in first was like, "What the fuck? I'm gonna start sucking now." And like somehow or another, he ended up coming in second, and I came in first. He didn't get shit, and I got something again. And he's just sitting there like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
But you know what I will say about getting rare loots and pickup, playing Crucible and doing the strike missions, like those higher level ones, you generally may get something. You almost guaranteed to get something eventually at the end of it.
Yeah, and I think Bungie's definitely watching. I know someone had a YouTube video where they were talking about a big farming area on Venus where they were getting a lot of rare drops. And very quickly after that video went up, all of a sudden, like, Bungie, like, fixed it. Like, without dropping a patch, like, on the back end, they just made some adjustments, and all of a sudden, it was fixed. So, I mean, they're watching. They obviously have control to activate certain events within inside the game very quickly from their end without necessarily needing to patch the game, which I think is great. And I think there's much more content on the game that all they have to do is flip a switch. Like, is this mission available? True. And
but that's kind of the problem I have though, because it's like I know they wanna kind of keep the world in a certain, and they want the game to progress a certain way.
Yeah.
But we all don't play video games the same way.
Yeah.
And we all, like, no one has the time to play video games the same way. So it's like I know they're doing it to try to keep it level for people, because some people they gonna go ham and all they're gonna do is play it.
Yeah.
But it's like you trying to keep them back with everyone else, but then you kind of ruin the game for us people who may play it moderately. Because now I'm hunting for light armor. That's it.
So, you've done all the content. So how long did it take you to get through all the content of the game?
All of the content for the game? I mean, I had help too. Less than 10 hours.
Okay. So on my end, so I picked up the game at midnight Tuesday, or midnight Monday, I guess. So I got the game early Tuesday morning. Obviously, I couldn't log in like everybody else. Had issues. Finally got on about 3 a.m. my time, close to 3 a.m. And I started playing, I say by Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I had pretty much gone through everything except like one mission. And then I was level 20. Yeah, I was level 20 Thursday. And then I got to level 25 yesterday. So fairly quickly, I've been able to move through the game. But I also had an extreme amount of free time. I didn't do anything but play Destiny. I was specifically focused on Destiny. Yeah. So this is like almost 8 hours a day, pretty much full-time job of playing Destiny and not getting a fucking dime in return. So
you getting experience though.
I mean, yeah. So I'm actually a little grateful that they are separating some of the content, because when I go back to work and I'm working, Next, starting on Monday when I go back, it's just doing my normal routine. Working on the site and doing other articles and things of that nature. I'm not gonna have a lot of time to play Destiny, so I have to look at it and go, all right, well, Tuesday is gonna be a raid they're gonna unlock. Instead of them unlocking 5 missions, and then Tuesday I have to go, well, now I have to try to see if I can beat 5 missions and hope they're still there for the rest of the week until I got free time. Now I can kind of plan around certain events, and that may seem a little, whack to you, but it's just like I don't really have the time there. So if they are gonna do something like, hey, big events going out Tuesday, then I can look at that and say, oh, okay, I'll have time on my calendar Tuesday.
Well, why not? I get that. That's fine. But considering here, my issue, it kind of goes back to the thing with Titanfall. Now, mind you, Titanfall, I really like Titanfall. I think Titanfall is a great game, but I also don't play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of gripes that people who've always played Call of Duty have with Titanfall that I don't per se.
Okay.
Now, mind you, someone who's always played Halo, I kind of feel like that old experienced Call of Duty guy complaining about Titanfall.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like you shipped me. I bought this game for $60, right? And yeah, the multiplayer. So okay. Basically, I don't feel like I have 50 hours worth of content out of the game, even though it's a game that you will play for like. You can't put a timestamp on how long you'll play the game, or how much enjoyment you got to playing the content. Yeah. But I feel like it's not there, and I honestly get it. You want to space it out. You don't want to burn through everything so quick. But at the same time, like the way the levels are set up for certain missions, and what you have to go through to actually get light armor, so I can just play one strike mission.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I think from an MMO standpoint, now I've never really been big on MMOs, and I actually. One of the few MMOs I played was actually RuneScape, and for anyone who knows what RuneScape is, you're probably fucking laughing at me right now, but that's okay. So I played RuneScape for a while, and I think with events like this, like events that come around for like 1 and 2 days and things like that, I think what it does is it generates interest. Because, for instance, like with the raid, let's say the raid was there from the jump, right? I could be trying to do the raid any day throughout this week. I could have said, all right, well, maybe Friday I'll do the raid. Maybe Saturday I'll do the raid. And then I have friends on, and my friends are like, oh, I would do the raid with you, but I already did the raid the other day, or I'm going to do the raid Sunday. And now it's harder, I think, to get people together at one time to get together and do these raids, because the raids don't have matchmaking. But if you do it on one day, if you say on Tuesday, this is when this raid is available, then now when you jump online, any of your friends that are online, they probably all have that same goal.
If they play on Tuesday. Like the inverse to what you're saying is just as valid, and that's kind of the gripe that I have, because 50-50 on both sides is still a failing grade.
Exactly. So let's look at Titanfall, right? So you said you had stopped playing Titanfall for a while, right? Yeah. I think that's fair. Then DLC came out, and you went back to playing Titanfall.
Yeah, but my point, and
because there's new content,
but the developers know this better than everybody.
Of course,
they know that. The initial, more people play the game when it first comes out. Just like how more people buy the game. No, games will sell millions of units in actual games, but they'll only sell hundreds of thousands of when it comes to actual external content.
Okay.
People really don't buy DLC like that. They do, but they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that I think it would have been a much better concept to have like the raids be level capped. Like, all right, you want to play the raid? Well, you might have to be 24. Or you might have to be 28 for all that matter. But if it just be daylock like that, like I might not even get to play it.
Well, so there's two things about it. One, you do need to be level 26. And two, it is daylock. And I get what you're saying, but it gives you, I feel like just having that goal. Now, I'm not completely defending Bungie and saying, oh, okay, this is the greatest idea ever. I'm not. I'm saying I think I understand the reason behind it and the concept. I'm not saying that it's the greatest concept. I'm saying that I get it, and I think, at least from my standpoint and where I am in life, I feel like for me it's going to work. And it's not DLC in the sense that I don't have to spend any more money. I've already bought the game. It's free. They're just gonna unlock it.
That's my entire point, is that control is you. It being okay for you is good. It's great, but just something that's good for you and may work for your lifestyle may not work for my lifestyle. Even though we both bought the game, you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying that I would prefer or like it better if it was just a little more across the board with it. That's all.
Okay.
Because 9 out of 10, I will be able to play it, but it's just the fact that what if I don't? What if I can't? And then it's like all this content that's locked. I feel like I'm buying. I feel like I'm paying for an unfinished product. And I know that's the age that we live in now. I know it comes with the territory, but at the same time, these games not getting cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's completely fair, and I think it can easily come from both ways, where you can say, oh, I should be able to beat it completely now because I paid for it, right. or you can look at it like, okay, well, it's kind of cool that they're doing that because now I have a reason to play it. Because let's be honest, for the rest of the year, nothing else is coming out. I mean, we have Forza Horizon 2, and we have Drive Club. That's it.
You got GTA 5 and Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh, you mean GTA 5 that came out last year? Right. Halo Master Chief Collection that came out over the last 8 years.
Last decade.
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, so we don't have anything else coming out this year.
Halo 5 beta.
When does that start?
Like December 21st to December 21st.
Okay, well, DLC for Destiny will be out that time. I'm sure they'll drop it on the same day just to fucking try to do something to Halo. I'm sure they will. Why wouldn't you? So I mean, overall, I look at Destiny. I say it's a good game. I think it's a competent shooter. I think where it fails is in the areas it's supposed to be strong. Like I said, communication, explanation. It just does a bad job of communicating. I feel like I get more information from going to forums and Reddit threads and YouTube than I do actually playing a game, and I don't think that should ever happen. I don't want Destiny to be the Minecraft of console games. I just think that's retarded.
So what do you think about, like, what tips have you picked up that you may think that will help benefit people who are playing a game or don't know things?
I actually have a lot of tips, and those will be on the site on first3.com, and we'll do a stream tactics article on it. But, I mean, some of them, just to kind of give an example of what you guys can expect from that particular article, things like actually holding off on upgrading your weapons. So as you get a little bit stronger and you start passing that level 20 cap, sometimes you'll start to notice you'll keep getting the same weapon. But it'll have a few different points of attack boost, or a little bit more bullets in the clip. So what I've started to do is I actually get the experience for the weapon first and wait to see if I get another weapon of the same type that's stronger. That way I don't waste my weapon parts and my money in general just powering up a weapon that immediately I get something that could have been potentially better than it had I spent the money on it and the items on it as well. So that's just one tip that makes it a little bit better.
I'll throw a bone as well. For people who are ranging from 1 to 20, when you have Ingrams, it's best to wait until you reached your next level to unlock them. Because usually it seems like that whole system is based on what you have, and you generally will get an Ingram. We'll say 75% of the time will be a higher level than what you already got. So if you're level 7 and you're almost level 8, wait till you turn level 8 to unlock it, because you might get something for level 9 and level 10.
Yeah, true. And I would also, suggest not getting your hopes up when you find a legendary Ingram, because trust me, those shits aren't always legendary, and you'll be fucking butthurt trying to unlock that shit and getting nothing but like a rare pulse rifle that sucks ass.
So what do you think of multiplayer?
Multiplayer as a whole, I think it's fun. I mean, to me, you cannot be playing multiplayer without people you know. It's just that. If you can't communicate on multiplayer, it's dull, it's dry, and to me, it's just not worth playing. And that's why I feel like communication is just so fundamental to this game, and I'm really shocked that with all the outcry that Bungie got from the beta and from the alpha about the communication, that still hasn't been implemented. I'm not sure if it's something that they're just going to have to actually do some real code changes to address, and that's why it hasn't come yet. But I definitely would implore anybody listening to this podcast that if you hear it, I would definitely encourage you to go over to Destiny's site and complain about it, because it's something it's almost atrocious that we can't communicate. Just give us the option to mute people we don't want to listen to.
Well, my issue with the multiplayer is, one, when it says the level advantage is disabled. Yeah. So not true. So not true.
What do you mean?
So not true. It's just been so many situations where it's like people's armor. You could just kind of tell, even when I'm getting shot, like when I'm taking way more damage than the next person's taking, or I'm dishing out way less damage than the next person's dealing out. Like there isn't an air of consistency there.
I think personally it's lag, because I've noticed people that were like No, just hear me out. I'm 25. I played Crucible with people that were level 9, and I couldn't kill them.
Oh, I've had
you know, and it's like before I see them. And
so you saying it's a netcode issue?
I think it is because before I can even get my sights on them, like my shield is gone. And then by the time my gun is drawn and I fire 2 bullets, I'm down.
Right. But see, like my issue is similar, but it'll be like, I just put 10 bullets on this one person, and they put 3 bullets on me, and now I'm dead.
I think it's another netcode thing where they on their screen they've shot you way more than you know. That's what I think.
That's fair. But then it's just like then you kind of making me feel like Call of Duty, and I'm not playing. I don't want. I'm the anti Call of Duty guy. I want the core arena shooter, more like Bungie type of shooting in my multiplayers. The one issue I do have though is I like none of the 3 versus 3 game types. It's there for me. There's not enough going on.
I'm just asking. Did you play salvage with 3 people that you know?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and to me it's too easy. Like there's not enough. Cause like used to playing games where it's 5v5, 12v12, 6v6.
Yeah.
Like honestly, Control to me is the best game type. Oh, and something I dislike about Control though is that you should, in my opinion, you should get points for every. You only get points for disabling control points and actually taking control of the control points, but you don't get consistent points for holding those control points.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like that. It's just like
well, you get a bonus. You get a bonus if someone's trying to take your point and you kill them. You do get a bonus.
No, but what I'm saying is that, but like towards the overall game score, you should get. I don't care if it's 5 points every 30 seconds like that. Because like when you look at hardpoint domination in Call of Duty or in Titanfall, those are the exact same game types.
What you're trying to say is when a point has been captured, you don't accrue any more points from it.
Right. Unless you killing someone. No,
I don't think that's true.
You're not getting stationary points. And if you are getting stationary points, it's too slow. It's too slow because like those. Just my opinion.
Okay.
I feel like those games take entirely too long.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
They definitely do. I mean, I don't play. So one thing that I figured out about multiplayer is that with Control is the worst. Control is the worst game type for my class. I play Hunter, so my ability doesn't really lend itself well to wiping out, one huge area that's being controlled. I feel like Titan and Warlock somewhat have the advantage on it, so I try to stick to Clash and Rumble and some other different game types. But I see what you mean. Like the 3v3 game types, I played Salvage with a bunch of friends. It was hella fun. We kept making people rage quit. We were dancing over bodies. Fucking hilarious. Then I got to play some Skirmish that we played. Now the only thing I can say about the 3v3 stuff is that when you're playing a game type like Skirmish, when you don't have an objective, and the only thing there is for you to do is kill the other team, it does promote camping. Because it's like, oh, well, we've killed them enough times. Let's sit here in this room and wait for them to come in. You get a corner, I get a corner, you get a corner, and we all have shotguns and wait for someone to come in. So that's the only thing I dislike about some of those 3v3s when you don't have an objective.
Well, my biggest thing is it's like a killing spree. You can get killing sprees in 3v3s, but I can't get like triple kill, quadruple kill, stuff like that. I literally cannot kill 5 people or 4 people in a 20-second time period in the 3v3s, and that's what I'm used to. So it's like, and you will see in some of.
Well, it doesn't have to be within a certain amount of time period.
No, I'm not talking about kill. I'm talking about like literally killing 4 people in 20 seconds. Like you can't do that in 3v3.
Yeah.
I can go 4, 5, 10. I can get a 10 kill streak, but I can't kill 4 people in less than 20 seconds.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just.
Did you have a bounty for that?
No. But from playing Halo.
Stuff
like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're running riots or you're killing frenzies or you're kill tacklers. It's not there because it's 3 versus 3. So even if you killed 3 people, which I have clips, working an entire squad, it's still gonna take them time to load back in. Like it's just kind of lower, and it's cool that it's different. But I think the 6v6s are much more enjoyable.
Okay, so overall, what would you give Destiny as far as a grade is concerned?
A grade?
Use whatever type of scale you want, and I'll try to match it.
I'll give it a 10-point scale. On a 10-point scale, see, overall, well, you want? Let me start with multiplayer, and I'll give multiplayer a 7.
Okay.
The actual concept of leveling up and acquiring loot and stuff like that, I'll actually give an 8.5.
Okay.
All right, the overall gameplay structure in terms of like how I guess you could call it a campaign and setup, I'll give it 7.5.
Okay.
And I guess in terms of explanation, navigating stuff, and actually knowing what to do, or how the game actually guides you through the game, I'll give it 3.
Okay.
I'm just putting those numbers out there. Overall, I probably would give the game a 7.5 or 8 though.
Okay.
Definitely good. What would you give it?
I think right now, I think that's a fair grade. I think a 7.5 is actually good. And I'm actually going to give it a 7.5 as well, only because of the multiplayer being as lackluster as it is. Now, with that being said, I think it's a 7.5 that easily has the potential to be a 9. Easily.
I agree.
Once more content has been unlocked.
I agree.
Once we start to see some of this DLC roll out, I think it's easily a 9, maybe a 9.5. And like I said, that difference between those two scales is mainly just because right now the communication isn't there. And like I said, for this type of game, you need communication, I think.
And content.
The most fun I've had in this game has been while playing strikes with friends and being able to communicate. And I think for people who don't have a lot of friends on PlayStation Network or Xbox Live or the Wii U's network, I'm just kidding. We know the game isn't on Wii. I'm sorry, Nintendo fanboys. We know your system sucks. I feel like those people are never gonna get the same enjoyment out of the game as somebody like us who has active friends playing the game.
But go a whole step further on communication and why it's so important. The communication in previous games, like your old Halos or your Gears of War or your Call of Duties, that's how you built your online friendships to begin with. And the whole concept of like this age that we're in now, with everything being more online based shooting, everything like that, was built on that communication.
Yep.
So it's like minus that communication from Destiny, and it's already subtracting. It already makes it harder for the game to be what it can be, or what they designed the game to be.
Yeah, completely fair. So that's pretty much it, guys, for right now on Destiny. We will have a lot more coming. Like I said, there will be an Extreme Tactics article. We'll give you a bunch of different tips and tricks. Maybe we'll put up a video for it. Don't know yet, but we'll see how that pans out. So you can expect some stuff from that. So we'll be seeing you guys later. I'm King DX, and
This is Show 60,
and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.